Hello, everyone. This is Linda Jo Hefner, and I'm very honored today to have with me Commander John Wells, U.S. Navy retired, and also the founder and acting director of Military Veterans Advocacy. Many things are happening in legislation that benefit our veterans. Long overdue things are happening, and Military Veterans Advocacy is behind that effort. And I cannot myself explain it to you, so I invited Commander Wells today to talk to you about one that's very shortly coming close to being passed, affecting many of our veterans, and that's the Pact Act. So Commander Wells, I'm very honored to have you here today. I'm going to turn the floor over to you since you're the expert and let you tell the audience about the Pact Act and give us an update. Thank you.
Well, Linda, thank you so much for having me. And it's always a pleasure to be with you. The Pact Act is a culmination of many years of trying to get a comprehensive piece of legislation to take care of veterans exposed to toxic exposure. And we started pushing this several years ago. And I think folks finally realized that that was the smart way to do it. It's called the Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson honoring our Pact Act, with Pact being with veterans. It was introduced last year by Chairman Mark Takano from the House Veterans Affairs Committee and passed the House earlier this year. Now, this bill actually covers a wide range of folks: burn pit victims from Iraq, Afghanistan, the first Gulf War, radiation cleanup victims from places like Anahuac and Palmera, Spain, as well as folks that were sent to Uzbekistan, to an old Soviet base where there was all kinds of chemical exposure, including radiation, and of course herbicide exposure. Yeah, still Agent Orange, for folks that served in Guam, American Samoa, Johnston Island, Thailand, Laos, and Cambodia. We've been pushing these individual bills for years, and this bill is a composite of many of them. It passed the House, went to the Senate. Senators Tester from Montana, the chairman, and the ranking member, Senator Jerry Moran from Kansas, worked out a deal to cover the same areas or the same diseases, but also included some additional safeguards to help the VA implement it. And that was wonderful. And it passed the U.S. Senate a couple of weeks ago by a vote of 84-14. There's a problem, however. In Senator Tester's amendment, he included a provision to basically allow for a tax waiver for people that were being hired by the VA so that the VA could buy out their personal services contract. In other words, if you had a doctor at a facility and he had a one-year contract but wanted to go to work for the VA would then buy out that contract. Well, the problem is on the tax waiver is that's considered revenue. And all revenue bills have to originate in the House of Representatives, and this was not in the original House bill. So when it passed the Senate, was transmitted back to the House Rules Committee looked at it and said, whoops, wait a minute, cannot do this. So it caused a lot of consternation. And of course, they had the 4th of July recess coming up, and Congress went into recess on Friday. Now, Senator Tester, Chairman Tester, put in a substitute bill that removed the revenue issue and tried to hotline it, which means asking for unanimous consent. Basically, what they do is they put it out, it goes to everybody's office and say, look, we're going to pass this thing by unanimous consent unless you object. Unfortunately, Senator Toomey of Pennsylvania objected. Okay, his basis for an objection, we've since found out, is because of not allowing amendments and so on and so forth, basically some procedural issues. Okay, that's fine. But, at this point in time, the bill is passable. It's going to pass. We would have appreciated it if he had just let it go through. I mean, that would have been, I think, the adult thing to do. But, he has the right as a senator to go ahead and put a hold on the bill, and he did that. So where do we go from here?
He being Senator Toomey?
Senator Toomey.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Go ahead.
He's the only there were several other senators that voted against the bill for various reasons, but he is the only one to actually have objected to it on the unanimous consent. So where do we go from here? Next step is to bring it up in regular order. To do that, Congress first off has to be back in session. Then the bill has to go through what they call a cloture vote, in which 60 senators have to agree to let it go forward. And we did this originally, but we'll do it again. Once that happens, the majority leader will schedule it for a floor vote, and we anticipate that we should get the same margin or maybe even a larger margin this time. When that happens, it will then go back to the House, goes into the House Rules Committee. Once they bless it, it goes to the House floor for a vote. Now, previously when it passed the House, there was some problems with the bill, or at least some of the members of the House felt that there was problems with the bill. That's all been rectified now. And I've talked with Mike Bost, who's the lead Republican on the House Veterans Affairs Committee, and said he is going to support the bill now. So it's going to get passed. Then it goes to the president. President Biden has said he will sign the bill. Now, it looks to me like we should have this thing signed and to the president by the end of July. And that's hopeful. Of course, things happen, and, I can't guarantee something else won't arise. But as of right now, we're on track to get it to the president by the end of July. Well, a lot of folks are saying, hey, we basically lost a month of benefits, and that's not quite true. The effective date of the bill is October the 3rd. So as long as we get it passed by October 3rd, there will be no real loss of benefits for anybody. Now, the question comes up, what happens if I already have a claim pending? That's a good idea. And we're going to argue, and we'll go to court if necessary, to argue that it should be retroactive to your date of filing. So don't wait for the bill to pass. Get it in now. Go down, file your claim, or at least file an intent to file so that you can protect that date. And here's the other problem. This is going to affect about 3.5 million veterans. That's a lot of claims. Secretary McDonough said, oh, we can handle it. It's not a problem. And I think that's a bunch of baloney, which is about the nicest thing I could say about it. Okay. In the past, when there's been an increase in benefits, Veterans Benefits Administration have not been able to react. And I don't think they'll react well on this one. My fear is that they say, okay, pass that next stack of claims over. I've got my denied stamp all inked up and ready to go. And then just deny the claims. If that happens to you, file an appeal with the Board of Veterans Appeals, because unfortunately, only about 6% of the veterans who have meritorious claims actually file an appeal. Now, we're going to be working next Congress to try to streamline Veterans Benefits Administration. We're also going to come back and cover areas that are not included in the Pact Act. Herbicide use in Panama, for example, herbicide use in Okinawa are not included. Now, the Pact Act does allow for a health study of Fort McClellan veterans, but we need to go more. We need to just go ahead and give a presumption of anybody that served on Fort McClellan during the years they were dumping chemicals all over the place should be covered. The bill also will give an opportunity for dependents who served on Camp Lejeune to file a Federal Tort Claims Act suit. What it does is basically reset the statute of limitations. We need to do this for everybody because there's folks in Panama, there's dependents in Panama, there's dependents in Guam, a lot of other folks that are not being covered by the Pact Act. It only covers veterans. And we need to allow them to file a claim to try to get the compensation that they've been denied for years. So that's kind of the quick overview. Linda, have I left anything out?
I'd like to know now, since you have their attention, is there anything that my veterans and their family can do right now to help and assist Military Veterans Advocacy in this cause?
Well, the first thing is call Senator Toomey and and tell him, look, you need to remove your hold and let this bill go through. It's going to pass. That's all he's doing is delaying it, and it's not really a good thing. But sure, there are a lot of things we can do. Every time we go to Washington, D.C., if I take a group of 5, which is what we really need to take so that we can do some mutual support, costs us about $10,000. So if you could go to our website at www.militaryveteransadvocacy.org, that's one word, and look towards a donation, we would certainly appreciate it. We're a 501c3, which means your donations are tax deductible. Or even better, also join Military Veterans Advocacy. It's $25 a year, but we have life memberships available. What does that get you? That gets you up to date on everything we have going on. We put out a monthly newsletter, which I'm told is very informative. And, it allows us to communicate with you fast. And sometimes we will send out notices by email. If we have you as a member, you'll become automatically on that email list. And no, we don't send out all kinds of things every 2 or 3 hours like some of these other places do. We just don't do that. We hold it for really necessary information.
I know from my experience as a Navy wife that when I contacted Military Veterans Advocacy, I was totally impressed. It was through Military Veterans Advocacy that I learned about the death and the reason for the death of my husband. And what impressed me that day, I was shocked, but I left at noon. But during the afternoon, Military Veterans Advocacy set up a team of lawyers, and their job for the afternoon, free of charge, no charge to these people, was to help the veterans that were attending with their paperwork. It was impressive. So membership in this group has so many benefits. I have found that to be true for myself. And I think I would stress it's not much. Commander, how much is it for the membership?
$25 a year. And, life memberships depend on age. I remember 71 to 80 is $200. Over 80 years old is free. And the other thing is if you have a spouse that died of a service-connected injury, illness, or disability, we are now granting free life memberships for widows. So, Linda, you need to get your life membership request in.
I think you already gave it to me. I think I got a notice that I had that, and I thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a positive outlook for our veterans, and need I say, long overdue. And we're very fortunate to have Military Veterans Advocacy at our back. Or as the younger veterans, what do they call it? Something about watching your six or something like that. I just love these expressions. I'm from the old days when you said, I have your back. And Military Veterans Advocacy has our veterans back. These folks work, all volunteer, to initiate and lobby for and get past all the benefits that should be yours. Listen to John Wells, get in touch with his organization, join. It can't hurt. One of the problems I see with our veterans is that we are splintered. We don't join together as one voice. If the veterans and their family came together as one voice, passing of these bills would be really difficult for our politicians to ignore. They would pass them. So join in, get with the act, and help out. Commander Wells, is there anything?
Thank you, Linda. It's my pleasure to come here, and we look forward to seeing you again.
As always, I'm honored, and thank you, folks. I'll see you again with another update on this bill or any other that are coming up. I know you're very used to me doing funny, silly things, but at times, and as I promised, I want to support our veterans. Having been a Navy wife, it's very important to me. So until next time, everyone, have a very nice weekend. This is Linda Jo Hefner with Commander John Wells, founder and director of Military Veterans Advocacy, saying good night for now. Thank you.